Hey there, Meredith Oliver here with another Meet the Experts interview for the Homebuilder Growth Summit. You probably heard we were already laughing when I hit record. And that's because this is not only a colleague, but a dear friend that I've been in the industry with for, okay, we're not saying how many years. We're going to keep a lid on this, but Stacey Rummage from OpenDoor, welcome to the Homebuilder Growth Summit.
Super excited to be here, Meredith. We're so honored and happy to participate in your summit.
Oh, thank you. Well, I've been a big fan of OpenDoor for several years now, ever since Derek and I originally met at a BDX conference. I was there talking about technology and home builders and how we really got to get with the times. This was several years ago, okay?
Yeah, I kept saying when I joined OpenDoor, where was this when I was the VP of Sales and Marketing?
Yeah. And as I came off the stage at the BDX thing, he like nearly tackled me in a completely appropriate way to say, you're our people, like you're one of us. How do we work together? And it's been really fun ever since. So first up, for people that are not familiar with you as I am, tell our audience about your history in the home building industry, just so they have an idea of just how much wisdom and knowledge you bring.
Okay. All right. I'll give the Cliff Notes version of that.
Yep.
So I cut my new home sales teeth in Houston, Texas, where I started out with a developer working in their information center and caught the bug. I think that this is a business. Either you're extremely passionate about it or it's just not for you. There's like no middle ground there. So it's very infectious. And I caught the bug. Worked for a developer in sales and marketing, ran the information center, and really never looked back. Moved to North Carolina when I got married, went to work for a developer in North Carolina where I am now, and then fortunately spent about 11 years in Central Florida working in sales leadership roles as area sales managers, a VP of sales and marketing. I like to say I've developed product, sweat mulch, changed light bulbs, all of that fun stuff over the last 20 plus years.
Yeah. And then at some point you transition to what I lovingly refer to as the dark side, out of working from builders to kind of working on the associate vendor side of the business like I have for so many years. Yep. And now you're at OpenDoor and your official title there is
Homebuilder Partnership Manager. So my role really of the Cliff Notes version is to help our home builders partners, new home sales professionals, convert contingencies into contracts. So I work with our partners in Charlotte, Raleigh, Nashville, Orlando, and Tampa.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's when I was at the BDX conference, and I think at that time, the OpenDoor builder partnership side of the business was really starting to go. And I remember meeting Derek and talking with them. And then a few hours later, the CEO of Lennar gave a keynote. And he spent most of his keynote talking about OpenDoor and not talking about Lennar and how this was going to be revolutionary. And I sat there going, I get it. Like, I get it. This is amazing, right? And one of the things I've always appreciated about you guys is your approach to this is that this isn't going to be perfect for every buyer, every sale.
That's right.
Salespeople, please listen to this interview, and sales managers, and take this in, that this is one of the tools in your tool belt that more often than not is going to help you. And how did you put it, Stacey? Go from
convert contingencies into contracts.
Yeah, because ultimately what you're doing is moving that old, nasty resale home they're in right now that they don't want to deal with, Or maybe because of COVID, or maybe because of a variety of very personal reasons, they just don't want to do showings themselves.
Absolutely. And then for our builder partners, it's such a great product market fit because trying to align the closing of your brand new home with that of your exit home, as you know, I'm sure, is near
Oh, from personal experience.
painful personal experience. I've personally had to carry two houses. Talk about some stress and anxiety, but
Right.
and right now things are such a moving target in terms of trying to set delivery dates for new homes. And if somebody is in a contract on their exit home with a traditional buyer, you're not moving your closing date. So it results in home builders having to put people up in hotels. That's expensive, poor customers.
Airbnb.
Yeah. I know you had a recent experience, so you get it.
Yeah, I do. I do. So it's kind of hard, honestly, for me to imagine why. And I know that you are very widely used and very popular, but I almost don't sometimes understand why more sales agents aren't utilizing OpenDoor if you're in their market. So tell me a couple of misconceptions about it. Why do you think sales managers, sales leaders can be a little scared or reluctant, that's the word I was going for, to recommend you or utilize you as a tool?
Well, I think number one, that the iBuying space is still a new space for
Yes.
most people. And it's a matter of education and training. How do I utilize this tool? How do I introduce it to people is critical in terms of what the success level is going to be. There's a lot of misconception. And I recently was speaking with an area sales manager in Charlotte who thought that OpenDoor charged a fee to home builders if the customer utilized the OpenDoor services.
No.
There is absolutely positively no fee to our home builder partners. And so
Yeah, it's a
that's,
win-win.
yeah, it is a win-win.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. And I think the other thing too is confusion about how OpenDoor responded to COVID. There's the misconception because there are other companies out there that unilaterally canceled all of their customers' contracts. Yeah, painful, and they have that recent pain experience. And unfortunately, sometimes OpenDoor gets lumped into that, or there's confusion. But we honored 100% of our home builder partnership contracts with customers that were past the inspection period. So that's a real strong point of pride for not only OpenDoor, but for me to be able to say that to our partners that, we take our partnership seriously. We value you. We're here to help make you more successful than what you
That's
already
right.
are. Yeah.
That's right. I think the iBuy space too, there some of your competitors, honestly, their programs are confusing. They're complicated. They're just, it's like you look at the app, you're like, I don't get it. And like I'm in this space. So if I don't get it, it's
Yeah.
confusing. And that's what I've always loved about your program. It really is rather simple.
It's
Refer,
very simple. You can
yeah.
you can request an offer from your phone. You can request an offer from your laptop, your iPad, wherever you are. And
Yeah.
it's absolutely free, and it doesn't obligate anyone to anything. And I think
Right.
confusion about that as well is if I go online and request an offer from OpenDoor, am I going to be charged a fee? Am I going to be obligated to sell my home to them? And that's just not
No.
truth. And then I think there's misconception as well around just kind of repairs and how OpenDoor's business model is. For us, we're not a flipper. We're looking for clean, safe, and functional and be able to bring that property up to marketable condition so that we can quickly list it and quickly resell it.
That's
So
right.
our business model is really about maximizing net cash proceeds to people who are selling their exit homes.
And that's one of the things I've always liked too, is you guys are looking for the right fit on your side as well in terms of what homes you're buying. So that's why I feel like, again, it might not be for every scenario, but there is absolutely no harm in referring it or connecting a buyer to it, letting them take a shot at it and see if it's a tool that's going to work for them.
There's no
Yeah,
risk to the buyer and there's no risk to the
no,
builder whatsoever. It doesn't cost anything. It doesn't obligate anyone to anything. So why wouldn't you at least try that route?
right?
Yeah.
And it's important that whomever their open door builder partner is, you cover several particular areas, but whatever area you're in, whoever your representative is, you want to connect your people appropriately, because when they go through the builder partner program, there are some benefits to that versus just the random consumer on the home page of Open Door, right?
Right. Right. So when we have a partnership with a home builder, we set up what we refer to as a vanity URL, kind of like a vanity license plate. So
Yeah.
it would be like opendoor.com/ fill in the builder's name. And so that automatically associates or tags that customer to that home builder. So we know that they're a partnership and they get the benefits.
Yeah. So since you are monitoring builders all over the country or in constant contact with them in multiple markets, very much like myself, what are some challenges that you're seeing out there right now for both buyers and the builders?
I think just the low level of inventory and the increased competition for homes. And builders are not accepting home to sell contingencies. They
No,
don't have to.
they don't
And
have to.
prices are ticking up. I don't have to tell you or anybody that will be watching this that prices continue to rise. And if a consumer or a seller, the way we call them sellers, if they can't move quickly because they can't resolve that contingency piece, then they're not going to get their first choice home site, home,
Right.
today's interest rates and price. So this is where Open Door is such a fantastic fit for the home building community. Is that customer can come to Open Door, immediately go online, request a free no obligation offer, and we can solve that contingency piece so that they don't miss out on that and that they don't
Yes.
get left behind with all of the competition out there for a very low inventory of homes.
So you're saying it allows the home buyer who wants to buy the new construction home to move faster and make decisions faster so they can nail down, the new construction choices before they're gone,
Yeah.
because they feel peace of mind that their home to sell is handled.
Correct. Open Door
Yeah.
is a cash buyer. So
Yeah.
we're not going to, our job relocation isn't going to fall through. Our financing isn't going to fall through. We're not going to get cold feet. So once we're in contract with a seller,
Done.
the home builders can pretty much look at that as not only a home to close, but we have
Yeah.
builder partners that look at the Open Door contracts as non-contingent.
Yeah. Basically, check, done,
Right.
off the list. Yeah. You get the peace of mind, you get the speed. And you know
Exactly.
what's interesting is, and I tell this story about Open Door all the time, is that conference when I initially like had the epiphany about you guys and the amazing product you're offering. So later that day, after I've talked to Derek, heard a keynote from Stuart at Lennar, then
Yeah.
I go to the networking reception that evening, where I randomly start talking to several builders, representatives, VPs of sales and marketing, and from around the country, and we're just hanging out and networking. And one of them, I kind of just randomly go, "So, did you hear all the stuff about Open Door today?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I go, "That sounds really cool." And the guy, I swear to God, he looks at me and he goes, "Oh, it's amazing. I used it to sell my personal home, got a great offer, totally went smoothly, never had to show the thing. It was incredible. And I was like, do, 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 do. I was like, okay. I mean, like, I don't know this guy from anywhere. I'm just frankly, okay, I was gossiping and doing a little research from the field on what I was hearing, and bang, there it was.
You know, we
So,
were talking earlier, like why wouldn't builders use this service? And kind of like to your
yeah,
point, in terms of you having the epiphany and first hearing about it, the iBuying space is still extremely young. OpenDoor
yes,
actually went into business in 2014. So relatively, within the last 5 years. And if you haven't sold a home in the last 5 years, you're probably not familiar with it. And I
yeah,
just think with the level of activity right now in home building, it's hard for an area sales manager, a VP of sales, to stop and take the time to understand OpenDoor and how
yes,
it can be a tool to help them create more contracts. Because as fortunate as we are today, and not to be Debbie Downer, a day will come, as we know,
oh,
this is a very
yes,
cyclical business. A day
oh,
will come where we don't have people lining up. We don't have the level of competition that we have for homes right now. So what are you doing today that's going to position you for success when the market changes? And that's, OpenDoor as well.
and that's why I had the audacity to create a virtual event in the middle of one of the strongest selling seasons we've ever had and ask for some of people's time. The money they've got, time, not so much. But I'm
Yeah.
like, give me one day on November the 10th, and then give me 15 minutes a week with some on demand content over the next few weeks to get yourself ready. Because sadly, despite my incredibly youthful appearance and all of my amazing products that create that, I have done this nearly 20 years, and I know that it's cyclical and I know it's going to change.
Yeah.
And what I've been trying to help people understand is the timeline cycle. So, since I'm a digital marketer, when people are on your builder website for the first time looking at your floor plans or your quick move ins or your communities, they're at about a 45 to 60-day cycle. National Social Realtor says their estimate is a 10, 12-week cycle. Okay. So whoever's on there now, you're not selling them a home for about 10 to 12 weeks from now. Now, of course, there's going to be
Use OpenDoor.
right, correct. But it's not so much that they have a home to sell that's going to take that long. That's how long they do their research.
Got it.
They're on the new home. Yeah, no, they'll sell it fast on your platform and have to hurry up and make a decision. But
Right.
on the new one they're going to buy, they're on there 10 to 12 weeks comparing this builder to that builder, this plan to that plan. Okay. And so if you've got a peak in website activity like we did where we were 200% up July, August, September, those aren't July, August, September sales. Those
Right.
are November, December, January sales. So what you've got now is what you're going to sell Jan, Feb, March. You're already in Q1. So I guess what I'm trying to help builders understand is this cyclical thing, and that if you aren't planning and investing, you could end up with the worst Q2, 3 next year already because you're not taking care of business, despite the fact that right now is awesome.
Right. Right. Just paying attention to those leading indicators. And
Yes.
yeah. And then one thing that you mentioned about OpenDoor being in contract on someone's exit home and them having to make a decision quickly. Obviously, we would get the referral from our home builder partner so that they receive the partnership benefits. And one of those awesome benefits is the seller, or i.e. our shared customer, has up to 9 months to close on their home with OpenDoor.
Oh,
So the
wow.
customer remains in their home, business as usual, nothing changes. They're not doing a
Wow.
lease back. And even though we get an initial estimated close date from our partner on the front end, we
Yeah.
realize that we're building a home in an uncontrolled environment that delivery date is very, it's a moving target, and there's no penalty fee whatsoever to our partners, to our customers, to move that closing date. So that really translates into better customer
It's a
satisfaction.
huge benefit. Yeah. So when this first hit, it was really March the 12th. Everybody, I don't know if anyone else's brain history has gone foggy, but I will never forget the day as long as I live. It was March the 12th. And because you and I both know each other well and we know we're looking at leading indicators constantly, you and I started emailing right away. What do you see? What do you see? Because we were like, what is happening right now?
Yeah,
Right.
I'm like, what's going on with web traffic?
I know what is happening. And so what we saw it freeze for a few days, maybe 2 weeks, while everybody bought all the toilet paper apparently that ever existed,
Ever.
moved their kids to virtual homeschool and got settled in. But once they settled in and settled down, we went up, up, up and away. Besides the fact that obviously COVID itself was a major shock and surprise, like whoever saw that coming, what has surprised you most about this year or the after effects of COVID housing market? Like what has surprised you?
I think to me, the biggest surprise was the migration to the suburbs.
Good one.
That was a big one. Who saw the millennials moving to the suburbs?
Right?
And yeah. And then I think the other thing was digital going from being digital technology, period. And I'll, make a sweeping statement about that, is moving from being a nice to have to a must have. How,
Faster. Have
yeah,
faster.
yeah, if you're having to transact in real estate being socially distanced, how do you do that? How do you demonstrate a home? How do you get a customer in contract? How do you conduct your closings? And one of the things, this is a moment made for OpenDoor.
Yes.
This is a platform that's perfect for the environment and the climate that we're in right now.
Yes. Yes, it is. And moving forward, what do you think our biggest challenges that we're facing?
I think customer satisfaction is,
Yes.
just looking from it, putting my VP of sales and marketing hat back on and sitting in the home builder seat is just making sure that you're being mindful of the customer experience that you're delivering. This is already a complex and stressful and a foreign process for most people. And then you factor in the environment that we're all living today that you've already mentioned. People are working from home. They're making a move because they don't have a space for working from home or homeschooling their kids or all of those things. And so that compounds that stress. And then you factor in low inventory, competition for that low inventory. And I think you have to be really, really cognizant and mindful of the customer experience so that you're not creating a bad brand experience for your customers. And, for us, the way that we handle that and the benefits for our partners are, we typically close the day prior to them closing on their brand new home. And then the customer gets to remain in their home for another 24 hours. So essentially, when
Nice.
the door closes on the customer's exit home, they have an additional 2 days free holdover to remain in their home. And that relieves a lot of that stress and anxiety around the closing, around the moving process, and translates into greater customer satisfaction scores. On the home builder side and at OpenDoor, we use NPS. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, Net Promoter Scores. And our Net Promoter Scores are in excess of 90. So not sure if you were aware of that.
Oh, I wasn't. No, I mean, typically, honestly, if your NPS is in the 70s, low 80s, that's considered good.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that is relieving. Well, the whole process at OpenDoor is really a white glove experience for the customer. And, our motto is give everyone the freedom to move. And, the customer experiences supports that. And so then when you get to closing, which we know has the greatest impact on customer satisfaction scores, because that's the last thing a customer will remember, is delivering the closing experience in the way that we do, making that seamless with our partners, not only translates to that 90 plus NPS score for OpenDoor, but it also helps our partners' customer satisfaction scores as well.
Yeah, that's right. So I think in kind of wrapping up and bringing all of this together is for our audience, sales managers, leaders, our marketing professionals that are listening, our builder owners, online sales counselors, all the different aspects of sales and marketing, is just asking yourself, look at our customer experience from the first click onto our website through to requesting information, through meeting either virtually or in person with a new home consultant, to talking about a home that needs to be sold. All of these touch points and eliminating the friction of those touch points to make it as smooth, as easy, because it is naturally stressful. I was shocked at how stressed out I was building ours. And I have done this and know all about this. I understand every acronym. I know, as well as they do, what happens next. And I was over the top stressed about it.
Yep.
So I can't imagine what somebody who's doing it for the first time or hasn't done it in a few years would feel like. And so we've got to use technology to create, it's funny to say this, but to use technology to create high touch, not just high tech, but high touch, white glove experiences that make people want to refer us, come back to us, use us again. And when we do that, we will be successful in a roaring market, even in a worldwide pandemic, which is so bizarre, or in a difficult market with high interest rates and lots of inventory on the market. It serves us well no matter what market we're in.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you, Stacey. Fantastic interview, so knowledgeable. You look amazing. I want everybody to pay attention to look at how she branded herself and set up her studio. That's fantastic. It's just so good. And it's been a pleasure being your friend and colleague over the years. And I'm happy to get to work with you guys again.
Likewise.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.